Merry Christmas. It's December the 25th and I'm premiering my brand new camera, a DJI Omo Pocket 3, which everyone is raving about, and it only arrived yesterday in the nick of time for Christmas, would you believe? So I've done a mad session this morning trying to figure out how to use it, because I'm used to the Canon manual and menu structure, and so this is all completely alien. And also it's such a tiny little camera, it's so much easier to do vlogging like this, and I've got it set up so that it automatically follows my face, would you believe? Who would want to follow my face, you might say? But you know, it's fantastic. And from what little I've seen, the gimbal seems to work really well. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. So I'm down here by the beach in Phuket town, which is one of my favourite places to go. Let's switch over to where I'm looking out to sea. You can see it's a really nice place. It's completely unspoiled by tourists, which is the amazing thing. I was in Patong Beach yesterday, and you know, it was murderous. So I'll be going there later. But this is Christmas Day morning. I'm going to have to spend quite a lot of time this afternoon cooking my dinner for tonight. The turkey's already cooked, but I've got, you know, vegetables, and I'm going to have a crack at Yorkshire pudding and all that kind of stuff today. So there we are. But so far it took me about 30 seconds to get the thing out of its little carrying case and assembled, and I've got it comes with a wireless mic, and you know, I've got it now so that it all hooks up automatically, and so you know, I'm quite happy with that. Just messing around with the joystick controls, excuse me. But yeah, I've just got to get used to it, really. I've just got to become comfortable with it, because although it was extremely heavy and much more difficult to set up than this, I was used to the Canon. So we're going to see how this works. Those of you that follow my stuff, I hope you enjoyed my soul-searching video that I released a couple of days ago. That really was an in-depth assessment of how one's own mind works. So forgive me for that, but don't forget, it's like A, it's like having someone to talk to, and B, it's self-therapy. Better than keeping, you know, all your unhappinesses locked deep inside, you know. So that was it. If this was Christmas morning in England, you'd have a lot of kids around, all with their new bikes and their new roller skates and whatever. But of course that was kids in my day. But nowadays kids would probably be at home on their new computers or their new game consoles not getting any exercise and not doing anything worthy of note. So that's a pretty jaundiced opinion of kids nowadays, but that's what it is for me. You may say that I'm wrong. I probably am, but it's difficult to see any hope for the future sometimes. It's very windy today, so I'm going to be interested to see how this new wireless mic copes with the wind noise. The Rode Wireless Go that I had, it's a few years old now, but that cut out the wind noise superbly when I put the tiny little dead cat on top of the transmitter. You could virtually not hear anything. So the wind noise in my lug hole is really quite high. So let's see when it comes to editing this down how it fares. And I think I've got it set up so that the one wireless mic transmitter is going to give me 2-channel mono audio. I hope that that is the case. If not, it's not the end of the world because I can sort it out in post-production, but I'm hoping that that is the way it is. In the bag of accessories for this, there is actually a wide-angle lens. What you can see now looks pretty good to me, but it's the standard lens. You can clip a wide angle on the front of this, which I'll try out in the next video, but this is pretty good. I'm not stretching my arm out a massive amount to get this shot, and shots like this that are incredibly hard with the Canon setup because it's so heavy, even though it's a very small Canon camera and a very small gimbal, but together it's quite a heavy load. This new one is just amazing. So you can see, here we are walking along the seafront, as we would say in England, and there's not a soul to be seen. It's wonderful. In fact, there are people around, but very few when you compare it to what the beach in Patong is like. I was there yesterday, as you will see in a video, and there weren't so many people on the beach. There's quite a few people in town, but there weren't so many people on the beach. In the pub, there was a hell of a lot of people. It was the most I've ever seen. And the owner of the pub said it was the busiest session that he's had since COVID ended. So that's got to be saying something. Another great thing that I contrive with this camera is that it's dead easy to shoot in C-Log format, which then makes it possible to do decent color grading. So I'm gonna, not on this video, but I'm gonna go out and do a separate one, which I will shoot it in C-Log, and you'll see before it'll almost be a monochrome. Very little color in it and incredibly flat, you know, no contrast, hardly any color. And on top of that you can layer color grading. But in my case I'll be trying out some LUTs, lookup tables, which will give me cinematic effects like from Lord of the Rings or God knows what else, you know, they've all got different LUTs. So I'll try a few of those out, and I'll show you the results. And there's the old abandoned watchtower. There's always got to be one. clean. You see how few people there are. It's magnificent. I really like it down here. It's one of my favourite places to go now. I'm going to be interested in seeing what the rolling shutter is like on this camera compared to the Canon, because I could never get rid of it on the Canon. And I'm only panning slowly, like you're supposed to, but we'll see. It's time to do a good comparison. Yeah, I forgot what I was going to say now. That's the death knell for vloggers, that is. I really have. Someone walked past me and sort of looked at what I was doing and smiled, and I smiled back, and that just completely erased what I was gonna say. Never mind. Oh, I remember. I was gonna say it's now Christmas morning, and I went out last night with Poi and her boyfriend to that same really nice Thai restaurant that we've been to before. Had another good meal, and so far I haven't been tempted to pop a cork over this Christmas. I've had a few zero alcohol beers, but I'm not counting those. It says zero alcohol on the label, and they have almost zero effect alcohol-wise on me. So I'm taking them at their word. So yeah, so far so good. You know, I'm looking into the future of today. Some movies this afternoon, cooking the dinner tonight and whatever, and you know, I can't see there being much of a temptation to open a bottle of wine or do anything like that, and I've certainly got no intention of doing it, but whatever happens, I'll let you know. This might be severely backlit, because I've got the sky right behind me, but looking at the fridge, I mean, I spent quite a lot of money on food for this holiday, and I'm sure I'll eat it all, but I reckon I could have got away with spending half as much and still had the same effect. I mean, I bought a whacking great big joint of lamb, which I was going to cook tomorrow, but because I got a phone call from Poi to go out, I was going to have you know, steak, egg and chips last night, and I'll have that tomorrow now. And so the lamb, I might save the lamb now for next Sunday dinner. It's well wrapped up, and it was kept in the in Central's chilling room. It's not frozen, so it'll probably be in exactly the same conditions as if it was left in the shop. It's all you know, vacuum packed up and double sealed. So yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll have that on Sunday. I'll go out for a decent hamburger during the week too, or make my own. Probably make my own. It's much better. I just did that little shot of me, which you obviously won't see in the final edit, because I suddenly became unsure whether I was recording or not, because I don't know where the record symbol is in this monitor screen. I now know, and it's staring me right in the face. But it would be, if you don't know that, it would be dead easy to just get out of sync and be recording when you think you're not, and just walking around and not be recording when you think you are. So that is one way to waste a whole day, isn't it? Anyway, I know where it is now, and I can look for it. So we're good to go, and it seems that so far so good. The end of the seawall. I walk back through this shelter that you can see behind me. Now this stage here is interesting to me, because I reckon it was left over from a big event they had here in 2021 before the COVID shutdown happened. I remember sort of coming down here the first time, and they had all sorts of posters on it in those days, and that kind of identified it, the year and what they were doing. They had Zumba dancers on it, you know, and then everything was packed up except that. And now, over the course of time, the people that put it there or who rented it, the people that own the little stage there have left town or gone out of business, and so in the ensuing years they've had loads of events down here where people set up stages and tents and God knows what else, and no one's ever come back to claim it. So there it is, a ghost from long ago. Over the back there are one or two other ghosts from 2021 as well. Skateboard, little obstacle thingies, you know, I'm not sure what you call them, and for BMX bikes and whatever. They have actually still got the dates on them. They're left over from 2021, never used now. It's quite interesting. I love abandoned things, disused things. Anyway, we're halfway. Time to leave the seafront and walk back along the covered way. So first impressions are really positive. It's a lot easier to use, and therefore it's a lot easier to think of stuff to say on the sly. So therefore it's a lot easier to make videos. So far the results are encouraging. Let's see what I've got when I get it into post. And I'm also looking forward to seeing what I can do with some sea log footage as well, but that's for another day. So we're going to go up there and we're going to walk along this other pathway here. Now this is an interesting walkway. It's on an interesting spot of land, because what we see when we look over here, this is a swamp, and it's fed by the ocean, and it's really wet down there right now, but there's no water because the tide's out. But when the tide is fully in, all this is underwater, and all these trees are quite happily growing here. So yeah, I really like it here. And if you walk over here, this is more of it here. I'm not sure what you call a swamp that's fed by the ocean, but down in Miami and the Gulf states of the USA, they're very common. Another thing worth noting that I thought about is this little camera here is much better at recording 4K than my Canon, because my Canon wasn't really designed for doing 4K. It will do it, but the images are severely cropped, and so I never did. And right now I'm going to continue on recording in normal high definition on this one, which is 1920 by 1080, because 4K file sizes are so huge and they take so long to edit and upload. So what I'm tending to do right now is do everything in 1920, 1080, and then when it's all finished, I render it off as 4K. Or it's not quite 4K, it's UHD. It's 3,800 and something by something or other. You hear this, you get this all the time. People call it 4K, but it's not bloody 4K. It's ultra high definition. And that's what I post up onto YouTube. And then YouTube mangle it somehow or other. So unfortunately, what you end up seeing on YouTube is not what I see when I'm looking at it on my TV, on my computer at home. But there's nothing much one can do about that. So here we go, about to turn a corner. The next side of the square and carrying on back. They're working Christmas Day, because Christmas Day doesn't mean anything to them. As I've seen, I've posted on another video about having the man in. Well, yeah, it's happened again. There's a big house at the end of the road's just been sold and it's being completely gutted. And they've got these bloody great big hammer drills in there and Kango hammers and lump hammers. They've completely knocked every bloody internal wall out of it, and they'll be working on it for months. But luckily for me, this time I'm sheltered from it, from the noise, You can just about hear it from inside the house, but it's not really annoying. Yet for the neighbours further down the road, it must be excruciating. And I noticed that Char now is having to do what I had to do during lockdown, when they were building this bloody swimming pool water park next door to me. For 4 months I had to go out every day and spend all day, sat in my car on the beach, and he's having to do that now because he's Thai and I think it's even annoying him. Because Thai people have this live and let live mentality, which is great, really. I envy them, and it's a shame we haven't got it, but we haven't. Like, if someone comes and starts hammering and banging next to my house, and there are plenty of others like me, they're going to get really, really pissed off. But the Thai people seem to, well. So for us, it actually looks as though the Thai people that are doing the hammering and banging, they don't actually give a shit about anyone. And this is something I like, these old construction machines that have been left over from some long gone project. They're now on display here with plaques on them. They've had the engines taken out of them and whatever, but yeah, kids play on them, and that probably wouldn't be allowed in England now. Too fixated by safety. I laugh at safety. Ha 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 ha. Now this over here, this is another leave over from that 2021 show, whatever they had here. And this has actually got 2021 written on it, so, but I'm sure it came from exactly the same big do that they had here before COVID struck, and has never been taken away. So we're heading on back to the bike. Still a ways to go yet. There are so many really nice flowering bushes here. I buy these things at the garden centre, and they're all in bloom like this, and stick them in my garden, and that's the last flower I ever see, you know. It reminds me of the Alice Cooper song. Nothing can grow in this burned, cursed ground, because the breath of the death is the only sound. So we're just about to turn and go this way towards the temple. But I spied something around the corner here, and it's that thing over there, way in the distance. Let's go and have a look. This has arrived in the last week, and I must say it's very nice. Stainless steel, bit of artwork there. Yeah, I'm quite impressed. Believe it or not, this is how Patong Beach was during the COVID pandemic. And at the time, I just couldn't wait for everything to open up again, you know, because I was moaning that there was no one around and nothing to do. But my God, now I see it the way it is now, back to normal. I do miss those COVID days, something wicked. And this was a good time to be here, amazingly enough. I remember walking along one day, and a taxi driver, not a taxi driver, a motorbike taxi rider pulled up alongside me and asked me if I had any money so he could buy some gasoline, because he was so hard up. There's no clientele, you know. I gave him 100 baht, I think. This Chinese arrangement here hasn't been here all that long. That was a leave over from some Chinese New Year, must have been. And it was about 2 or 3 months ago now, I think. Anyway, we are going down there. Now that is a very nice little temple. I did shoot a video in there once, a year or so ago, but it was before I'd bought the gimbal and the fast lens, and I was really hungry for light. So I'll take this little one in there on another day and shoot another video in there. Noi took me here some years ago, and I was very impressed with it. And you can buy fireworks in there and let them off. There's a pole stood behind me. I'm not going to swing round now. There's a pole stood behind me, so you can have your firecrackers going. So yeah, good place. Back to the bike now. So here we are back at the bike, and so that's the end of this little walk. I'll just go on to other things which you may or may not see later. Bye bye.